All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today we're going to go over best practices for the new Elevate blog system. So we've discovered a few really cool things and some really good SEO that's coming out of the blog. So this will be a really cool thing for all of us to get involved with. But before we get into today's presentation, I'm going to bring on Bill Seitz, our corporate broker. Good morning, Bill. How are you today?
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, everybody.
All right. And we're also going to be joined this morning by Debbie Ciccone, which we'll bring on in a second here, but we've got a couple things to go over. First, any house cleaning items or anything for you, Bill?
Well, yeah, I'm currently overseas, as some of you know that. I am on a 9-hour difference from all you agents out there. So some of you have been dealing with and are aware of that. Those of you that don't know that, your best bet to get a hold of me is between about 6 a.m. your time and about lunchtime. That's the magic window. So if you have anything, you can call me, text me, email me, whatever works best for you, and we'll make ourselves available for you. Yeah, that's really about it. Here on most of you have gotten to know me over the last few years. I am heavily involved with professional surfing. Been doing this a long time, and this is my sphere of influence. This is where a lot of my connections in real estate come from, and I'm still actively involved with the surfing tour that travels around the world. And I got a but I have been asked to come to South Africa a couple different times in my life, and has never worked out via family weddings or other obligations that we have. And this year I was able to make it work. And so I am currently in South Africa, where it is, what time is it? 6:03 in the evening. So there you go. I am 9 hours ahead. I am 9 hours ahead. But I still am actively working with Lauren every day. I'm signing all the documents. So not really too much change as far as production on my end. It's just your hours of reaching me are different. So just keep that in mind. If you have a problem or you need something, need to access me, just try to get it done before lunchtime. And that will be the easiest way for us to connect and make that happen for you.
Sure. Bill Seitz, international broker at large.
Yeah, but before we bring Debbie on, just want to run through the main highlight this morning with as far as interest rates. We kind of were teetering on a year high. We've kind of getting close to our early March benchmark, which was the 10-year was trading at 4.07%. Obviously, we had thought we had kind of cleared the path for no new rate hikes, but as we know, we talked about this before the 4th of July holiday. The Fed kind of did a 180 and said, "Hey, we're not done yet. There could be additional hikes, blah blah blah." And so the market has continued to trickle up, and we got very close to 4% on the 10-year. We we touched it and just teetered over it actually at 4.04. But today we got some decent news that the inflation numbers were relatively flat for June, and we've had a huge pullback, relatively huge, this morning for 12 basis points on the 10-year. So now we're at 3.85. So temporarily, we have some solid news with rates, a little bit of easing, a little bit of improvement, and so something to keep in mind. Obviously, these are the types of days you would want to lock your loan, and you would want to take advantage of this, as we've been sitting in a relatively relatively higher than usual in the last couple of weeks rate environment. So as always, we'll keep you in the loop of what's happening, but that is the macro overview, Kevin. And I know Debbie has some things to review with us, so let's bring her on.
Bring Debbie on. Of course, Debbie Ciccone is our rock star loan officer. She's located out there in the desert, and she does loans for people everywhere. But Debbie, good morning. How are you today?
I am fantastic as usual. It's just so funny how we in our industry, we're either up thinking positively, or we are, worried about a transaction, worried about, when I'm going to get the next deal or whatever. I can't stress enough. I do this my own self. I always think, feel, and know there's a lot of deals coming my way. I have a lot of deals in process. and it happens. It just magically happens. I don't say magically. I mean, I do a lot of work to help you guys make stuff work. And I've had a lot of calls recently and some of the deals are really kind of complicated. These, back in the day, I remember that we could, if you had a pulse, you can get a loan. Nowadays, it's all about problem solving in a lot of cases and just figuring stuff out, trying to figure out what options a person has. And that brings me to just kind of let you know what Clearview Mortgage is all about. I know there's a loyalty program that is being offered to you. There are benefits that you guys get for using our in-house escrow and lending. But aside from that, I'm telling you, I'll share something that just happened this morning with a transaction. But for us, we're all about speed. We have lenders that we can actually close in 2 weeks if need be. And there's the one that I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to need that 2 weeks saving grace because B of A couldn't do it again. But we can close loans in a very fast speed, okay, and very easy too. I've had people say after they've closed, that's it. I thought it was going to be harder. I thought I had to do, provide more documentation and sorry about the squeaking in the background. My dog has a squeaky toy. But also, the experience that the loan officers with Clearview Mortgage have. We all have. I mean, I myself have almost 30 years experience in this industry. And along with Bill and Rick, I mean, all of us, we have experience. There's no new loan officers with our company. And so we can figure stuff out. We have solutions. And so we have experience, we're fast, and we have lots of different programs that could potentially help your client. It's a matter of making money or not making money. So I'm going to share one last thing before I go today. This is a deal on Indian lease land. Now, there's lease land in Orange County. I've run across it in Huntington Beach. As long as the lease goes 5 years beyond the loan term. So if we're going to do a 30-year loan, and the lease has to be at least 35 years. So if it's 20 years, that means we have to we're stuck with having to do a 15-year lease or seeing how maybe that land lease can be extended. But in the Palm Springs area, which is where I do a lot of transactions, there's Indian lease land. And I'm telling you, a lot of lenders cannot do it. And thankfully, B of A is another one, because I just had a situation where last week I thought I, had a transaction. Transaction comes in, $1 million deal, and the property's on Indian lease land. I'm thinking, oh, I've got the edge. We're the only ones that can do this. We have a lender that can do it. And but the buyers were saying, no, B of A is telling us they can do, Indian lease land. They can do this deal. And I said, I don't think so. I've been told B of A cannot do loans on Indian lease land. And long story short, you know, so we submitted the loan, we did everything, but they did not want to pay for the appraisal. So we couldn't get the appraisal ordered and all that. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to be really patient and let them see what's going to happen. So this morning I finally get an email, B of A can't do it. Guess what? We're here to save the deal. I'm just like, you know, I'm so happy when that happens, that we can actually save that deal, because people's incomes are on the line. The realtors, you know, they're already thinking from day one, this is the amount of money they're going to make. Me too, you know. So anyway, but I'm just happy to say that in cases like this, and especially with B of A, we can save the deal. So give us a try, give me a try, you know, let's see if we can put the deal together, and I guarantee your client will be happy, and that's going to make you look good too. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of the week. Be successful, think positively. I know I say that every time, but it really, really works. And I hope you all prosper.
Thank you, Debbie. You know, positive thinking is really important. So I always like that you bring that to the table.
Always.
All right. Have a great day, Debbie.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Adios. All right. And I put Debbie's contact information in the chat. It's right here on the screen as well. And give her a call. She's fun to hang out
Yeah,
with.
Kevin,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
real quick. I just, before you move in to another direction, and she brought up a good point, and this is something that's really important for all of us to understand is, obviously we'd like you to start having those relationships with Clearview Mortgage. There's obviously a bonus into the loyalty program that we've reviewed. If you're not clear on that, you can reach out to me anytime, and I'll certainly review that with you, or personally, or, you know, again. But if you have problems with financing before you consider canceling, or you consider, maybe, not moving forward with the transaction, please just give us a call so we can at least run through it quickly, and find out if it makes sense that you have no options and there's no other avenues for success. Because as Debbie said, you might be with one of these big retail lenders, and they may say, oh, they're real good. Those lenders are real good at pulling those deals in the door. But I tell you, over years and years and years of being in this business, time and time again, we can't do it now. And you're 17 days into a 30-day transaction, and now you're scrambling, going like, wow, this is not good. Probably gonna have to cancel. But give us a call, let us review it, and let's make sure that if it doesn't need to be canceled, let's find a solution for you.
No, it's absolutely the fact. And it's just a huge point, because, you can easily lose a deal. But if you bring in the Clearview Mortgage team, they have all kinds of ways that they can salvage deals. They've done it all the time. So good point, Bill.
Yeah. And I will just, one little anecdote right here. Tim Anno, our corporate recruiter, he had a friend who was told that they could not buy a property unless they had 20% down, and they would have to pull money out of their 401k. And so, and he was like, hey, just give Bill and his team a call. Let's just make sure. And I talked to this gentleman, and it was probably the easiest loan I've probably could do. Both him and his wife, stable W-2 income. Yes, they had the 401k, but they could borrow against it if it was a primary property. Super easy. They just requested the funds. From that, we showed proof of that. It was like a cookie cutter loan, but they were getting bad information. And they were getting information where they're like, oh, they had given up, basically saying, oh, we can't buy the home. And I think we went clear to close in like 8 days. Submission to clear to close. So, there's something to that, to have people that know the ins and outs of this stuff. And you just want to always have a second opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for that. And thank you, Debbie, of course. So let's get into our presentation today. Before we get into the presentation, just wanted to kind of review what's going on. So we, of course, have transferred from the agent marketing system to the Elevate system. So if you were on our program 2 and you were with agent marketing, of course, now you've been assigned a dashboard to Elevate. And so if you have any questions about that, of course, you can contact me. What we want to make sure is there are a few people that signed up for Elevate and still we have not received the payment. So if you've signed up for an Elevate dashboard, you have an Elevate dashboard and you know that you haven't made the payment, just make sure that you go to this link here. I'll put it in the chat. This is our realtor sign up page, and you'll just want to go in and either sign up for program 2 or program 3. Program 2 is basically what most people were on. Program 3 is our new system with Elevate that actually will syndicate all of your blog posts to your social media accounts. And the Elevate system also will create those posts for you. It will, update any listing changes or any new listings. It'll create the post for you. All that stuff is all done for you. So that is our new program 3. So whichever you signed up for, just make sure that you are paying for the correct program. I'm doing an audit this week. I know some of you have received an email from me already, making sure that you guys get that squared away on your end. And that way everybody is good. So just make sure that you review your systems. And then if you have an Elevate system, but have not yet made your onboarding appointment with our tech person over there, Alec Foster, this is the Calendly link for Alec Foster. So I'm going to copy that, put that in the link or in the chat as well. So if you haven't created your appointment with Alec to get all of your social media accounts set up and syndicated to your blog, go ahead and do that. And that way we can make sure everybody is going forward and utilizing this great system. So what we've encountered now in utilizing the Elevate system and the blogging and so forth is it does have some very powerful SEO. So I just want to go over some quick best practices for the blog area. And so what you can also think of is this website system has been created utilizing basically a blog format. So creating a new page within our website, we're actually creating a blog. So you can look at that as, just creating a page on our website or a blog. The cool thing about that is it does have some really good SEO power. And SEO, of course, stands for search engine optimization. And that is how web or search engines like Google determine whether your website is relevant for specific search terms. So as we've spoke about quite a bit over the years, SEO for real estate and mortgage and finance, those things are absolutely the most expensive real estate, if you will, on Google and within search engines, because the cost of acquisition for an actual buyer is very, very high. And so search engine optimization for those terms that are related to finance, related to real estate, they are difficult to master. So, utilizing this blog format and these blog posts really does help our search engine optimization for our website. So let's just see how that works. So our blogs live on the left toolbar in Elevate. They live under integrations in a little platform called Emerge. So Emerge is where we create our blog posts. So literally, I started one earlier. You just go over here, click on blog, create blog. This nice little window pops up for you. And so what I invite you guys to do is, if you're part of the DMS, program 3, the lovely people over there at Elevate are going to be creating tons of blog posts for you and different kinds of content. But we also have the opportunity to do some very specific blog posts that go after and are optimized for specific keyword phrases, like in this case, homes for sale, Balboa, California, right? So what I did was I created this, blog post, and since I, don't really have the time to, write a giant article about homes for sale in Balboa, I did a really cool thing, and I used our little friend, the Chat GPT. So let me bring up that little window. So remember, using AI and specifically the OpenAI platform, we're able to create content for our blog posts or our social media posts, or in this case, both. And we are able to, basically create content. So I went over to our lovely AI system, and and you can get a free account by going to openai.com and just signing up. And so I typed in, create an article about homes for sale in Balboa Island, California, Newport Beach. Why they're unique, use keywords homes for sale in Balboa and listings in Balboa. So literally about 1 minute later, this entire article was spit out for me. It's very well written. I read through it, reads like a champ. And just remember, when you're doing this, you can set your maximum length for how many, tokens it's going to generate, basically. So you do want to push that up to over 1,000. You want your SEO pages to have at least 1,000 words, if not more. And so you could even bump that up a tiny bit. But anyway, it spit out this great little article. I just copied it and brought it back over to our Elevate system. Gonna find somewhere, hopefully. So we brought it back over to our Elevate system and literally just pasted it back into here, right? Pasted all this into there. Then we have the opportunity to put images in there. So, I put in a couple of nice images of Balboa. Here's the little channel between Collins Island and the main Balboa Island. And I put another little, little image. We're also able to put in video. So we're building SEO here, guys. So we want to make sure that this image has what they call an alt tag, and it uses the very same keyword phrase that I'm trying to quote unquote optimize this page for. So in this case, my keyword phrase is homes for sale in Balboa, California. So I'm going to make sure that this image, at least one of the images has that tag in the image. Okay, so I've done that. And then also we can put in a video. So best case scenario is you're going to create your own video on YouTube, some drone footage, a little, community video. But if you don't have that, you can seriously go to YouTube, do a search for, things to do in Balboa, California, right? Some kind of a video, as long as it's not from a competing realtor or it has nothing to do with real estate, you can, basically take that video and you can highlight it, come in here and press our little YouTube button, put the URL of the YouTube video in here. And of course we can go through this, specifically on a Zoom appointment one-on-one if you need to, but this is pretty easy stuff. You just drop in the URL here, you just click, boom, upload it. It'll, render a nice image of what that video is going to be about, and it'll pop up right here. So other good best practices for these blog posts, if you're doing this kind of a blog post, which is a search engine optimized blog post, is you're going to want to put the keyword phrase that you're targeting, which in this case is homes for sale, blah, blah. You're going to want to make sure that that's in the title. It's in the very first heading on your page, and it's also in the first paragraph. You're also going to want to make sure that, and we already, told the AI system to, put those keyword phrases in, so we don't really need to worry about much. But another thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to embed a few links. And so again, we're not going to want to link, and these are outbound links. So this is a hyperlink. And we're not going to want to select something that is a competing website, right? So What I use all the time is Wikipedia. So I'll go to Wikipedia. Here, I'll just copy this. I'll go to Wikipedia. And I will put in my keyword phrase, or just, Balboa. And now I have a link to a Wikipedia article on Balboa Island. There's no way it's competing with anything. It's just got good information. And Wikipedia happens to have a very high page rank. And so that helps with the search engine optimization when you're linking to something that is outside of your website and you're linking to a high page rank website that has to do with Balboa, California. That makes your blog more relevant in the eyes of Google. So we're going to want to put a little link in here. And again, we just click our little hyperlink button and we put in our URL, just paste it in. And we're going to want to make sure that all that rendered correctly. Yes, it did. And click OK. So now we have a nice hyperlink going out to a different website, which Google loves, and it's not competing. So we did that. And then the last thing that we would do is we would put a list of related topics. Okay, and I'll spell it right too. But related topics, that just means, oops, actually spell it right. All right, so related topics, we're going to have something that a list of things that Google kind of, refers to as far as the keyword phrases. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put in our keyword phrase, which was just homes for sale. Balboa. And so you scroll down right to here to this related searches. This is where Google, these are the different kinds of terms that Google associates with those terms. So what we can do is we can highlight these. Oops. Copy them. And then just have those keyword phrases. I'm just going to paste them real quick onto a notepad. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing right this second, but I'm just going to put those keyword phrases onto a notepad. What that does is it just gets rid of the formatting. And then I'm just going to paste those right back in to our emerge spot related topics. And so these are kind of some related topics. If you get really tricky, you can actually make these hyperlinks, and then you would want to hyperlink those to things within your website or non-competing websites. And that would add even more kind of SEO power. So, that didn't take us very long to do. And of course, we're going to link that to our social media. That's the next step. We're going to either schedule it or just send it now, and boom, you've got a blog post. So, and you can also, create these and schedule them out for the week or for the month or for the year if you really wanted to. So, I really encourage you guys to start doing this, because these posts do rank in the search engine results pages. And one thing that you want to keep in mind is, of course, if you're trying to, create a blog post in a search engine optimization post for homes for sale Newport Beach, it's going to be a lot harder than selecting a small area within Newport Beach, in this case, Balboa Island. So you do want to create these hyper local communities. And so in the old agent marketing system, they were, we were making quote unquote community pages. And so now your community pages will be blog posts. And again, they'll syndicate out to all of your social media. Those social media links go back to your website. And so you're creating this giant web. So the more that you do this, the more Google has to trip across your information and the more relevant you become. So this should be an ongoing thing. and something that you do all the time, every month. Now, again, the good news is Elevate's going to do that. If you're part of program 3 and their DMS package, they're going to syndicate all that stuff and they're going to create that content for you. But best practice is to also do these other blog posts that are very, very specific to what you sell and very specific to, you know, what you're bringing to the marketplace. So that is the basics of the webinar today. I know last webinar, last week, of course, we were off for the holiday, but before that, we had a very long, very comprehensive overview of the Elevate system. I know it was a little bit daunting for a lot of you. So we're going to be kind of breaking up little bits like this over the next few weeks and just making sure that you guys understand how to use specific things, because I know when we go through all of it, you get a little overwhelmed. So that is the plan for the next few weeks, is to just make sure that we are kind of opening up this system and using it properly and making sure that we're getting the most out of it. So Bill, any quick takeaways? I know we went over a little bit.
No, it's really good stuff. And I think, you know, unless you are planning only to be in real estate for a year, maybe you don't have to worry about doing this stuff. But if this is truly your career and you want to, and even if you're part-time, if you really, you know, consider yourself a real estate professional and you want to have a presence locally and beyond, this is just something you just got to get in the habit of doing. And as Kevin said, it will start spidering out into the broader web through the SEO, and over time you will get results. This is obviously not something you're going to get a phone call tomorrow or next week. It's not the way it works, but it should be in your daily or your weekly, monthly habits of putting stuff out there, which is just going to grow your presence. And if you're in this for the long game, which we know real estate is, the career in real estate is a long game. For referrals, I mean, I've been licensed since 2001, I think it was. So I'm on my 22nd year in real estate, and you know, it gets easier because people know that you're in real estate. People know you've done transactions. You get referrals. You know, it gets easier. But if you're new, and even if you're not new, you need to be constantly doing this stuff to keep growing. If you're not growing, you're contracting, and you know, that's just not, you know, that's not the objective for longevity in this business. So I think that everyone, if you're not doing this, you know, regularly, just get in the habit. It's actually kind of fun, I think, personally. You know, Kevin, you know, I did weekly newsletters when I was just before I moved into the broker role and added responsibility with the company. And even when I was working for a bank before we started Alta Realty Group, I was doing weekly newsletters with finance and real estate related stuff every week. It was called the Friday Update. And so I kind of had, you know, labeled it and kind of gave it my own little, you know, my own little kind of niche name to that. And people were enjoying the content. It was all good content because I was very selective on what I put out there, but I was very disciplined in doing that. You know, now that I'm not full time in the finance because I'm doing other things, I have pulled back a little bit on that stuff. But if you know, I'm in a very specific situation because I have other broker duties with the company. But if you're just real estate or you're just in finance, this is super important as you build your brand and grow your referral base.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just really encourage everybody to continue to do this. If you're not doing it yet, go ahead and start. And, you know, I always try to make it a point to mention that if you block out time for these things and you plan, it makes it a lot easier. And that way you're not guessing. You're not like, oh, when do I post stuff? No. You have a plan. You know that on Mondays from 2 to 3, you knock out a bunch of stuff for the week. All right. So the more that you can block out your time and, you know, not take, it's just distractions and not, you know, field other phone calls and stuff like that, the more successful you will be in pretty much everything that you do. So I really just encourage that, and, you know, starting to utilize this system. We're already seeing agents get results. So I really encourage it. Next week, we're going to go through the actual drip campaigns, because that's where the real power is staying top of mind with your clients. And so that's going to be really powerful. But I do appreciate you guys coming on our webinars every week. I really know that it makes an impact in your real estate career. So any questions that you have, you can of course contact me, 949-285-7209. And hopefully you guys make a great week and a productive week. And we will see you guys all on the webinar next week.